Yo.
Hey, welcome to the new meta, episode 47, even though I tweeted
47.
out 45 earlier.
What? Wow,
So,
nice.
yeah, I know. I totally can't count.
Okay, cool.
My name is ThaPChild.
And I'm Lord Fluffy.
Yeah, how you doing, man? You got some news for us today or what?
Yeah, I
Is
got
this
a.
public knowledge? Am I putting you on the spot?
No, it's fine. I got one of those, I believe it's pronounced Yob.
A
Um,
yob?
yeah.
Yeah, a yob. Yeah, yeah.
No.
Just like some gifs. Do you make gifs at your yob?
Yes. Yes, that's all I do. Full-time YIF maker. But yeah,
Full-time gif maker.
start Monday.
Yeah.
So
Monday.
the long weekday streams are coming to an end.
Oh man.
I'm sorry.
Back
Internet.
to the 9 to 5 grind.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, well, congratulations, man.
Thanks.
You sound extremely excited, and I'm happy for you.
Yeah, yeah.
This is gonna fund even more exciting stream rooms in the future. I don't know what else you could possibly put in that room, but I'm sure there's something that you want. So,
I actually had some stuff break this week.
what?
Yeah.
What broke?
The nano leaves? They're actually
Really?
been total
Those things are
garbage, man. Yeah, and they're
expensive,
like,
man.
I want to say $580 for the package that I
Yeah.
got. Because I got a lot of them.
Yeah.
It's like a big
Yeah.
LF.
We talked about this before you got them. I was jocking them. I was like, "Oh, I want some nano
Yeah.
leaves," and like we had a conversation, and I'm like, "Well, if you get them, I can't get them." So, so I'm glad that you went
Right.
first. You pulled the trigger
Yeah.
first.
Yeah, they've just been like, so the first one I got, like, it would drop connection to the Wi-Fi, like, all the time. And so you'd have to, like, reset it and reconnect it so that you could, like, set all the effects and stuff like that. And it was, like, literally, like, once a day it would break down. And so
That's horrible.
they were like, oh, it's the controller, it's the problem. It's, like, the little thing that plugs into it. And so they sent me
Yeah.
a new one. And so I was like, cool. And so I just threw away the old one. And then it broke after, like, 3 days. It completely stopped working. So now it doesn't even, like,
Wow.
they're just dead lights on the wall. Which is pretty cool.
So they're just like white. They will
No,
just
they're
turn on
literally
white leaves,
nothing.
right?
They're just they won't
Nothing.
even turn on.
Awesome.
Like it's completely dead. They're just dark. There's like white
Nice.
panels on a wall. It's pretty cool.
So are they gonna refund them or what?
I asked, like I said, like I'm gonna, like I didn't like threat. I wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna make a YouTube video shitting all over you. But I'm like, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
so disappointed in like the amount of
Yeah.
money I spent on these versus like how much they've worked. Like it's actually insane. Like no, you wouldn't get away with this if it was like any other product. So
Right. Huh. Well, that sucks, man.
yeah,
Keep me up to date on that.
Yeah.
Well, at least I know not to buy them now because
right.
I actually was debating for about 5 months ago if I wanted to drop green screen and go to just a normal cam setup.
Right.
And I committed fully, and I actually got packages in of green screen cloth that I am going to drape, like kind of glue to the walls. I was gonna paint, but then I ultimately went this direction instead. So that's gonna be a weekend project for me coming up soon. So,
Well, I just
It'll be
noticed that you're there twice. Did you see this?
oh, nice.
Whoa, two
What are you doing?
PTRs.
What are you
That's
doing?
the camera that got enabled last week. Forget it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
weird, crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So, anyways, on to some gaming news.
Right.
Because you guys don't care about the stream
Right.
setups.
Nope.
But we asked a poll last
Yeah.
week,
Yeah.
and
We pulled it.
I believe our poll was, what class are you going to play for Season 17?
Yes, Season of Lan.
And we already know Fluff's answer, so we don't even have to see his response. But I think mine's the same. I am going to start with Necro. I don't know if I'm going to. I'm going to have multiple classes, I'm sure.
Multiple.
I am multiple. I'm intrigued by Necro. I'm intrigued by Crusader
Mm-hmm.
and Wizard. All three of those sound fun to me. So, but if I were voting, I would vote Necro.
See, I'm gonna. So the question though is, what class are you playing in the Season of Lan? Not the class you're starting with. Now it might be smart to start with Shadow because that's insane.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, you could run Rathma rat runs, and it would be pretty good as well. So, if I was a
think it's
solo
super
player,
smart.
I would play Shadow to start.
Yep.
But
That's a good choice.
if I was in a group, yeah, I'm gonna
We
go
pulled this
Necro.
up last week, and I don't know. Do I still have those notes? What were what were they giving out for Necro?
Necro's Anarius.
Oh God. Okay.
Worst case
So
scenario.
that does
yeah.
nothing. Yeah. And I agree, and I think ultimately a secondly good choice is to try to get a rat team. to level with off the start. If you're leveling in a group, get 1 barb and 3 necros, and then if you guys can dump all the loot onto 1 necro to get him a set of something fast, then you're golden.
Right.
You're super golden.
Yeah, for sure. But I wonder, I'm curious how many people are going to play Barb. Because, like, Barb gets nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
Barb's
they're losing Charged Barb. They're losing the Roar
Some
buff.
people love to play Z characters, though. Like,
True.
and I'm a fan. I don't mind playing a Z Barb, honestly. If I knew that I had a solid team that would be in it for the long haul at the season start, maybe I would be convinced to start with a Barb just to get that crazy Paragon going, and then have those guys save up Necro gear for me so that I could pull a switch after the first 24 hours or 48 hours.
Right.
And just, because they could drop the loot on me because they're going to get dupes.
Right.
Yeah. And I would probably do that because I don't mind playing Barb that much. I don't mind playing Z Barb.
Word.
But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. And I know we talked about it a little bit last season, but maybe this season we should get some kind of some level action going, man.
Yeah.
Get it going crazy.
Yeah, because both of us, I think the past few seasons have been kind of duked by a member or two of the team. So
yeah, I want to get people that know what they're doing for sure, and just for one season at least, just get a team, because I know you're probably more hardcore than I am. Are you going to do a 24 again this season?
I don't know.
I don't know if I'm down for 24. I'll do like 15 to 18, but 24 is like.
I think last season
I feel like death.
We ended up doing like 18 or something like that, and then we slept. And I think we averaged more hours actually, even though it wasn't a 24. Because when I do a 24,
that's
I
my
just
theory
like
too.
Comatose for like 12 to 15 hours. So.
I'm the exact same. I think that I'll get more hours in if I do like 3 15s versus doing that 24 and then feeling like I'm just ran over. Even after I take that nap and wake up, I'm still like, oh my god.
Yeah. Right.
So I'm too old for that.
So.
But yeah, it'll be interesting. And then, so pick one.
Yeah.
Let's see these.
Let's
results.
vote. I'm voting Necro.
Okay, I think it's a good choice.
What the fuck?
Holy
We're being trolled. We're being trolled.
We are being trolled.
What?
Who set this up, man? No way.
28% Witch Doctor?
That blows my mind.
That's insane.
Man, that blows my mind.
This is just.
I would have expected Witch Doctor to be like 4th or 5th on the list.
This is just Big Daddy Dan with VPN, and he's voting in.
Yeah, he just did it like 38 different IP.
Yeah.
How many IPs do I get with this VPN?
Right. Yeah, and Necro's number 2. Witch Doctor, what the heck is going on?
Crusader is up there because the Captain America build is going to be fun.
Yeah.
Wizard's up there because Lon is already a thing. That's going to be even more powerful.
Yeah, people might not know beer juice, but
Veer Juice is going to be nasty too.
Demon Hunter only 8%, Monk 7%, Barb 7%.
Barb is last,
Doctor.
man.
What the, I'm questioning everything I think I know about the world right now.
We'll teach those streamers.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, the next
new poll.
Right.
Yeah.
We're asking, are you okay with imbalance for seasonal themes? And what we mean by that is, like, if some build comes out and it's like soloing a 140, as long as it's completely contingent on the seasonal theme, are you okay with it like going live for those 3 months?
Yeah. The assumption is that when the season ends, that build is then broken and can no longer do that.
Right.
So, are you okay with it being crazy?
Right.
For 6 months.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm interested.
Yeah.
I always want to talk about the questions, and I
know.
can't. It's so
I know.
It's like, let's get into this.
It's the worst. It's actually the worst.
All right, next week.
Yeah.
So PTR dropped on Friday, and it's now
yes,
Tuesday.
yes.
So we've had a couple days to play around with it. And let's, I'll let you start with what you want. There is someone that I know are performing ridiculous, but
Sure. Well, we'll just kind of browse, and we'll talk about what's performing and what people are playing right now on PTR. So for DH, no shock here. There's no real like lawn build that works for DH. I'm not obviously single clicking each one of these people, but it seems to be most of these people are getting on. They're playing a little bit of Shadow, which it kind of blows my mind because it's like, well, absolutely nothing changed for Shadow, other than you can't run the Roar buff anymore. So they just want to see how far they can go, I guess. Barbarian is also kind of in the same boat. They have nothing coming, which is just really.
I would assume that they're
really
going to go
sad.
back to Reikor Hoda is what's going to be defaulted to, unless some
Not that
LAN
that's a
build
bad
emerges,
build. That's
but
still amazing.
yeah,
Like,
it's
Reikor is really
a fun
good.
build.
But
I don't know.
Charge Barb's going to be dead after Roarg season has ended, and Barbs just don't have a LAN build that's any good, like at all. Barb's going to suffer a little bit next season. Now, we'll jump into Monk next. Monk has LAN Wave of Light, which I have mixed emotions about because, goddamn, yet another season where monks are playing Wave of freaking Light. It's actually insane. Like, they don't have anything else. I'm pretty sure.
No, and that's what happens when you have a specific skill that has powerful legendaries that go with it. It's because of the torch. It's because of the main hand, offhand combos, man. They're just so powerful.
Right.
And, it just...
It plays better. What I will say is, like, I've played Son Muku Wave of Light. I've played Ina's Wave of Light, and I've played LAN Wave of Light. I like the LAN version the best.
Do you? I haven't played the LAN one. I've only played Ina's and Samuko's. And I think Ina's plays better than Samuko's.
Yes, I agree with that as well. And I think it's very similar to Ina's, but it's just a little bit, I think, just more, all the kinks are kind of worked out kind of thing. Like, it just feels more like a fully fledged kind of build.
Okay.
So that's the positive thing I will say about it.
That'll be a T13. I would assume they're going to be able to adapt that to T13
because you can drop COE.
Couldn't.
Right.
Yeah. Just
any build
COE
you have COE and you're pushing like a 130. Yeah, you can drop that from the build and run T16.
Just drop that. Yeah, and get the
Avarice,
for infinite teleports.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's super strong. I want to find
it's going to be so fast T16.
One that's like respectable Paragon. So like a 124 with 3600 Paragon. Pretty strong.
And that's a lot of juice.
Yeah.
That's a lot of juice for the season. So
for sure. Moving on to Witch Doctor. Now, what I will say about Witch Doctor is DoD is currently still broken on PTR. People cannot test DoD right now.
Okay.
Which is unfortunate. Would love to see what people can do with that. Which is weird too, because it's like, are they going to do another phase of PTR with DoD not being busted? Because like literally people are not going to be able to test this change at all.
What if it's still broken on live?
On live, it doesn't have a damage modifier. So the damage modifier is broken.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
So the people aren't getting that extra 500%, which is a big deal.
Yeah.
And I think it also makes it so that, so the new deal.
But that's what I'm saying though. So the damage modifier is broken in PTR, but that's my point. Is if it goes live and it's still not working.
Right. That would suck.
You know what I'm saying?
That would suck big time.
Yeah. That's kind of what I'm saying. Like that's
right. That would be a nightmare. Right.
I mean, it would still have. Isn't LAN Spirit Barrage pretty decent?
Oh my god, yes, yeah, very good.
So I mean, they still have that, even if it's broken. But
there's be a lot of players that are like, I really wanted to play DoD.
I don't play Witch Doctor ever though, so my Witch Doctor knowledge is pretty low. So
I've actually never played LAN Spirit Barrage, and I watched Big Daddy play it for like a couple minutes. And actually, the particle effects and everything on it, they look kind of cool. Not gonna lie.
I played Fire Bats when that was the meta instead of Star Pact.
Yeah. The Trash Killer.
It was back in season 10 or 11. Mm-hmm. It was a lot of fun. I had a good time with it.
Yeah.
And so it's cool.
Sure.
I hope that Witch Doctor shreds because this season they were better.
Right.
But I still don't think that they've come out of the shadow to be like, hey, Witch Doctor is like top tier. It's the best.
Yeah.
So I hope that they get that limelight someday.
Definitely. And speaking of getting the limelight one day, if we look at Crusader, is absolutely destroying with Captain America right now. Like,
look at the Paragon though.
Let's find one 3K.
He's like 770.
3K 132. Like, give me a break.
Yeah,
that's
crazy. That's crazy. Yeah.
But this kind of goes back to our poll, right? Like, like obviously it's gonna be really, really, really good this season. But are we okay with that? Like, is that fine? Like 130 with 3K is actually insane.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I think I don't want to influence the poll, but at the
Sure.
same time, I think it's a topic we should probably hit this week.
yeah,
You
right,
know,
right.
me personally, yeah, I think I'm okay at this point in Diablo's life cycle.
Yeah,
As long as I don't think they're going to be able to get the 130 without the lawn buff because they're going to lose the rings. Are the rings enough to make a difference of 10 greater rift levels? I don't know, man.
right.
Maybe, probably not. I mean, it's probably going to be less than that.
I mean, because you look at this build though, like the rings, other than COE, like we're just adding toughness. We got a unity and we got a justice.
Yeah, but
Lantern.
toughness is huge for
Yeah,
staying
no
alive
doubt,
in
no
those.
doubt. But
So-
you know, those people that are gonna fish until the end of the time, like they're gonna be able to hit just as high, probably, without that toughness. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
like you look at people that played like Firebirds when it was a thing, and that was like the squishiest build ever, and they were doing crazy,
Yeah.
crazy numbers.
I'm okay with it, man. And I've actually loved Captain America build. This is a build that I've vanilla, or I can't say vanilla. I guess Reaper of Souls
Yeah.
pre-season or season 1. This was a thing. At least it was for me. I don't know if other people out there were playing it, but my circle of friends played Captain America, and it was a blast, and I loved it.
Right.
So I hope that continues to be a thing.
Sure.
Am I gonna call for the Nerf stick? I don't know.
Right.
It's powerful, man.
Yeah.
But again, it's kind of like we need to test it without the lawn buff to see like where does it fall
Sure.
in line, because that definitely gives it a huge power
yeah.
creep advantage.
No doubt.
So I'm not screaming Nerf yet, but man, if these guys keep pushing it much higher, I might have to be like, okay, come on, guys.
Yeah.
slow it down.
Yeah.
What
On
do-
this,
how
like,
do you
so
feel?
I kind of feel like Blizzard themselves have kind of stopped caring about balance in general with these like crazy power creeps and seasonal themes. So like I don't really care about this build because again, it is going to get worse after this season. But what I will talk about while we're on the subject is I think the only thing that's really at risk of getting a nerf is Chantoto. Chantoto right now is really effing strong.
Much fun. It
it's
looks
so much fun.
I haven't played it.
It is
I'm
a ton of
going to
fun.
play it soon.
It gives you epileptic seizures, but it's a ton of fun.
That's why I love it. That's why I love it. It looks so cool.
And now the reason I think that this will get nerfed is because after this season, it's going to be the same because it's using a set, and so like hitting those numbers after the season alone, I think is probably a little OP. But that being said, I thought about this quite a bit, and basically since like the power scale is just thrown out the window for this next league coming up or this next season along, do I really care if they let Veer slip for this one season and then nerf it after the season's over? What do you think? What do you think about that?
Yeah, so pre-modern Diablo 3 era, we used to get balance patches every single season.
Yeah.
And it felt to me like they tried to swing the totem pole of classes every season a little bit.
Sure.
And I'm okay with that. So as long as we're getting swings, like I think it's okay to have things be a little broken. Crusader can be broken this season. Veers can be broken this season. Necro can be broken this season. And then next season, whatever theme we get, let's have different classes be on top.
Yeah.
Let's power creep some of those to get them up there. Let's nerf the other ones slightly
Yeah.
to bring them back down. Hopefully the seasonal buff does all that, because that'll be super I don't want to, I guess, transparent to the user. Like they're not going to think, oh, my class got nerfed. They're going to think, oh, my seasonal buff went away.
Sure.
And now I'm not as powerful.
Yeah.
That's a lot better feeling than, oh man, I got nerfed into the ground.
Right.
So hopefully they can manage those swings in the seasonal theme. But I'm okay with it, man. I think it's fun. I think it gets people excited, and I think anything that generates excitement for the game right now in its current state is awesome.
Sure.
So
Right.
so I'm okay with it.
Right.
But that being said, it needs to be some balance. Like if
Sure.
if Veer's Chantoto Wiz is going to start pushing like 140s without even having the seasonal theme be active, that's probably a little
Right.
on the OP side.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm
And
okay with it being top.
like chat's saying like, well, there's always gonna be top builds, but we're not talking about top performing builds. We're talking about builds that are overperforming. We're not just talking about
If you're like, 5 to 8 levels above everything else,
Right.
then you're not.
that's
You're not in
overperforming.
the. You're not in the grading curve
Right.
of
Sure.
like acceptable,
Right.
in my opinion.
But yeah,
What do you think that curve is to you? Like, do you think everything should be within 5? Is 5 kind of your upper limit?
every class or like every build within a class?
No. We'll just say every class.
Okay.
Because it builds, there's like a whole other can of worms.
Yeah, I mean, it's always unfortunate to see like, well, for like we saw forever, like, Necros flying through 120s for the longest time, and Witch Doctors like barely breaking out at 100. Like
Yeah. a 20 difference is absolutely
yeah,
insane.
it kind of feels bad. Like no one's gonna play. Like that class is gonna suffer population wise because it's just like it's that bad. So I think that yeah, within 5, I mean, preferably within 3 would be like kind of the dream, but that's
3
a lot
would
more
be.
balanced.
I don't think we've ever had that.
No.
That much tightness.
I don't think we've ever had within 5 tightness.
The thing that kind of gets me, so this is something that I was going to talk about later, but we're transitioning to it really well right now.
Okay.
So Barb doesn't have a lawn build.
No.
They buffed legendary items, a couple, like was it 9 or something? It was a small handful.
Yeah.
I don't understand if this was a seasonal theme. They got 2 extra months to do the seasonal theme. How did Barb not get one legendary picked out of the pack to get juiced up? It's like, okay, Barb doesn't have something. What are the current lawn builds that Barb uses? And you pull up, those builds and you say, okay, what if we took, this weapon and we threw a modifier on it or increased the modifier, and then that would put them like.
They could easily have done that with Frenzy Barb and not broken anything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like Frenzy Barb was the one I had in mind. I've never played it, so I don't have it memorized. But that's what I'm thinking. Like that's the only lawn build that in my head I can even think of. So I'm just sitting there thinking like, well, let's pull up the Frenzy Barb builds.
Yeah.
And then throw a modifier on 2 pieces or a piece and see if we can get them in the ball game. And then you can at least benefit from the seasonal theme, right? So, but they didn't do that, and it just seems like another miss. But we got a legendary potion, and that just drives me crazy.
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't know if this potion was already built and just not in the game.
Have it. Like it's probably an asset that was just sitting there,
or like some dude was like, "Hey man, I built potions like 5 years ago. I know how to do that." And they're like, "Okay, well you can do that, John."
Right.
But it's like, how if John can build a potion, why can't he just, hey John, can you take, these bracers and throw a Frenzy Barb modifier of 200% on them?
Come on, John.
Like figure that out.
Quit being a douchebag, John.
Fuck, John. Quit making potions, John. So, it's cool that we got the potion. I'm not knocking that.
Sure.
But it's,
it does seem like a little bit big oversight in the season of Legacy of Nightmares that there will be like basically 2 classes that really can't do anything with it, which isn't feel good.
Does not feel good. So, what else? Do we have any other leaderboards? We looked at Demon Hunter, Crusader, Wizard, Witch Doctor. What do we got left?
Necro.
Necro. Yeah, what are they doing? What are they pushing?
I don't want to talk about it. I really don't want to talk about it. So 130. What do you think this is, by the way?
That says 115. It's okay. Close that. It's okay. Go ahead and close that.
What?
Let's not talk about it. You're going to get them nerfed, man.
Good.
If I were to guess what that is, it's going to be some form of corpse lance. It's probably either cold or poison. I haven't looked, man. I have no idea. I'm going to go corpse lance, some variant.
Yeah, you'd be correct. 130 Cold Lancer lawn.
Cold Lancer, yeah.
Yeah. And now, what do you think about this? So I've had a lot of people come in and be like, oh my God, Corpse Lance lawn is so amazing. And I'm always like, man, did you ever play Pestilence Cold Lance? Because it plays infinitely better.
The exact same.
It's not just it's not the exact same because 2-piece Pestilence fires off Corpse Lances. So it to me, Pestilence Corpse Lance is the Corpse Lance build. Like that should be your standard. This Blood Lance sucks. It always did suck. And now we have Cold Lance Lawn and it sucks and it's always gonna suck. The only build that feels good for Corpse Lance, as good as Corpse Lance build is gonna feel, is Pestilence Cold Lance. And now we have this garbage.
So Pestilence Cold Lance is really the only Cold Lance I've played.
Yeah.
I haven't played Blood Lance I played a little bit. Right. That was season 11, I think. And I honestly didn't like it that much. I switched back to a Tal Rasha group build and played group mainly the entire season. And then season 12 or 13, I can't remember. I was like, oh, this feels good. And I actually liked Pestilence Cold Lance. I think it was fun.
Yeah,
I had a great time. Once you figured out how to play it, I had a great time.
sure. But it's also
But until
way
you
more consistent. It's way more
Yeah, but
consistent.
there was a breaking point for me at about 50% CDR. Like before 50% when I had like crappy gear and I'm like, this feels so nasty and disgusting. And then I hit like that 50, 52, 53% CDR and it was like, oh, this is starting to feel really good. Like it's starting to line up with the time where I find elites. My cooldowns are coming up. I can kill things. And then, so the build became a lot of fun.
Right.
So, and I haven't played LAN. Like, so I mean, how does this play? If you're not firing all
honestly,
the free lances.
Lawn Cold Lance feels literally pound for pound exactly like Tribal Blood Lance. It's the exact same build. So you have to be very precise. Like no trash dies. So like if elite gets lost,
mouse on
right,
elite, yeah,
it's completely effed. Whereas sometimes in Cold Lance, like the trash will die from your auto lances kicking off.
yeah.
But yeah.
Well, plus it's going to give you the Oculus circles and things like that. So where on this build, are you trying to target like the lowly piece of trash to get the circle and then
exactly
jump in at the same?
Right.
Yeah.
So now I did like a 110 with like 10 minutes left. It's really, really strong, but like it sucks, man. Compared to Cold Lance feels like a polished build, or Pestilence Cold Lance, and this just feels like Blood Lance all over again. But then you look at the next one. Is there going to be
alternatives to this?
There is,
Okay, yeah.
but we don't really know on this for sure. So this is a Rathma setup. It's also pushing at 130. But
Does he hover over his mages? Is he doing Singularity?
Yeah, this is a Singularity setup with no generator, so he's like completely depending on density. But this is super overperforming because of Reaper's Wraps being, quote, bugged.
Yeah, they're giving 100%.
Right. So all you have to do is generate a bunch of globes from Light from Death and then not touch them until you need them. And so you can basically stay at like full essence the entire rift.
That's it.
So it's stupid. But this is kind of weird. And you and I talked about this, I think, off stream. But like Reaper's Wraps give you 100% primary resource. That is such, and like the Nevilistus, the community manager, came out and said like, oh, that's a bug. Like, how is that a bug? Like, that's effing weird.
Yeah, how did they get goofed like that? Somebody changed something. I honestly, to be honest with you, I like it. I do.
What?
Like,
no, it's too strong.
It's okay.
No,
it's okay.
No.
It's fun, man. I think I'm at this mindset where I like broken stuff. Like I'm having fun with these broken things.
Can you imagine rat runs? Did you do rat runs with these things on?
Yes. That's exactly what I was thinking about. And I tested a little bit when I was doing my Singularity T16 builds, and I threw them on for a second, and it was just like, oh my lord.
Yeah. With
the Requiem Seraplate chest piece, it is ridiculous because you're at full essence the whole time.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's definitely broken. I just played Devil's Advocate, man. I like to watch you freak out a little bit when I say I like it. It's broken.
Yeah, my concern,
if they didn't fix it, I wouldn't die though.
I would think it's so stupid if they didn't fix it. But this is my concern, and I kind of conveyed this and freaked everybody out last week. But what if this was an accidental sneak peek at a seasonal theme?
Yeah. Season of Reaper? I mean, no. That's not enough. Man.
No, it's not enough. But like by Blizzard standards, maybe.
You can't. I don't know, man. You can't.
Man, they gave us like double goblins. Like,
come on.
This is a bigger. This would be a bigger change than double goblins. Ugh.
No, but nobody uses them though. Like, okay, so what class?
Necro, of course.
I know Necro, but who else?
That's
though?
it. I mean, if we're talking about meta, just Necro. But like Tornado Wiz can use it, and
yeah, that would be a really, really crappy seasonal theme. But maybe they did season of legendaries or something, and they have a pile of legendaries they're gonna juice up that are like. I mean, what if it was like season of Ingeom and Reaper Wraps and COE or something? Like that would make me barf. But
yeah,
I think it's a bug. The question is, how do you goof that up? Though? Why? Like, why are you touching Reaper Wraps at all? Unless they're based on something else that they've like if Reaper Wraps pull that regeneration from a skill or an ability that they've
Right.
juiced up, and it's like, oh, these two things are linked, and it screwed Reaper Wraps.
Which is terrible coding if that's the case.
I don't know.
But,
I just
yeah.
don't understand how they even
Yeah,
get
I don't
touched
know.
in the first place. But John, what are you doing
Yeah, I don't
messing
know.
with Reaper Wraps, man?
Weird. It's weird. But we're not done yet with the Necro because we look. Okay, so this is PTR, right? 130 Corpse Lance, 130 Rathma. But we go over to live.
Okay.
And I don't know if you've checked this in a while, but
I
if
have
you look
not.
at Necro, we got a 130 on season right now with fucking thorns.
Ugh.
With the rings on.
So I assume this guy's like fishing the God Rift and groups a crazy ton of trash, and it kills. You know, he's doing the same. Like I've seen people run the thorns on the Rift Guardian. I'm assuming he's doing the same thing on packs of trash. No. I don't
Yeah,
know.
so like
I
you
don't even know how
fish
that would work.
for like elite affixes, like some that like do more consistent. Like so, Desecrator, for example. Like Desecrator is great because it like
Yeah.
if it hits your
Instant
pets, it does a ton of damage to the elites. Yeah, it's really it's awful to watch to play. People keep asking me to make a build for it. I'm never gonna do it because it sucks. I honestly, it still kind of blows my mind that
This shouldn't even be a thing.
this
It
is
should be
not
removed.
nerfed. Like how can Blizzard let this keep going? Like thorns on a Necro is just so bad, and I've said it season after season after season, and it's maybe because I've been so vocal about my disdain for it that they're like, well, let's keep it.
It's your fault.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, Fluff hates this. Keep it.
Right.
Buff it. There's going to be
Right.
Season of Thorns.
Season of Thorns.
There you go.
Oh, God.
Season 18, Season of Thorns. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
Interesting, man.
it is
Interesting.
kind of, to an extent. But yeah,
So
what are you like? What's your favorite thing so far?
I'm semi excited, and I know people are gonna, hang me for this one.
Sure.
I'm excited to do Lawn Rats. To actually put a full set together and just destroy things will be fun
Right.
for a little bit. I'm not doing rats the same as everybody else. I'm not gonna do, 5, 6, 7 hours of rats every single
Sure.
day the entire season. I'm gonna do it, an hour a day, maybe,
Sure.
if that. So I'm excited to do that. I'm excited to try out this Veer Chantoto thing because that looks really cool. I watched you play it. I've seen other people playing it, and it looks really fun. So I
Right.
kind of want to check that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Other than that, Captain America has kind of been my thing for a long time. In seasons past, I've tried to put together Captain America builds that were viable.
Right.
So I have to play that this season at some point.
Yeah.
And I will. But I think I'm going to start Necro and try to get that Lawn Rat set going just because the Paragon farm is going to be insane.
Right.
Super crazy.
You know what I've kind of noticed is Diablo. This is kind of weird, and I just thought about it, but Diablo's kind of shifted into like left click builds, and so like you look at like so DH Impale.
Yeah.
Now Crusader, Blessed Shield.
Long. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Wizard Veers. And Necro, I mean, really, if you want to look at it, you could argue that Poison Scythe, that's kind of a left click build. So, like, yeah, I don't know that I love that.
I don't think for the longest time, their abilities have gone into this use on cooldown style of play. And there are some skill gaps if you don't do that, like Condemned Crusader, for example. If you use your Iron Skin, I think it's Iron Skin, time it, with your rings and things, it benefits you and gives you a higher skill gap. But for the most part, you can just spam everything on cooldown, and more classes go that way. It
Right.
seems like most of the builds are going that way.
Yeah.
I don't like that game design in general. I think it's, if we're going to have 6 abilities, let us make them be meaningful when
Right.
we cast them.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but that requires an entire redesign of across the board for almost all the skills, and I don't think that's going to be a thing. I hope Diablo 4 doesn't do that, though. I hope it's
Right.
let's actually use our abilities. Well, I mean, you play PoE, and I think you've talked about a little bit. They have an auto cast mechanic built in PoE, right?
No, they do not.
I thought They don't? I thought you could right click and have it auto cast.
No.
So builds aren't built spammy like that though, right?
I mean, no, not really. Nothing that's like you would want to have cast on cooldown. I mean, but
No
I don't
num-lock
know all the
builds.
builds in PoE whatsoever.
Well, just in your experiences, there's no builds where you want to numlock your skills.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Blade Vortex. Yeah,
Okay.
there would be.
And what about Lost Ark?
No, absolutely not. Lost Ark, like everything's on a cooldown, and they are all like dependent on each other, like all the abilities. So no, absolutely not.
Yeah, I kind of hope Diablo 4 goes in a way similar to that. I think I want it to go away from auto casting abilities or just spamming buttons. I think everything should be used
Right.
in time, you know. So 4-man PTR, are people pushing 150s, I'm assuming already?
Yeah, of course. Well, I mean, these guys have like 7, 8K, but I'm not seeing like really anything innovative here. It seems to be just Lawn Star Pact,
Probably Lon
Star
Pact Wiz.
Thorns, and support Necro, or support Barb, support Monk.
Yeah.
Nothing really crazy
Typical
happening.
cookie cutter.
Right.
Yep. Twos is probably the same. It's probably going to be a Monk
Crusader,
Wiz, I would assume.
top right now, but
Oh, yeah?
I don't think anyone's really pushing 2-man.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still promising.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So PTR, anything jump out at you from PTR? Is there something, like you asked me earlier, you know, what I had fun with or what looked good? What about you?
Yeah, I mean, we've had some fun, like making Blood Nova like finally a thing. Like it's always been okay. Like you could put Tragghouls on, you can do pretty successfully if you get like full ancient, some Augs. It feels pretty good in T13. But we did Lawn, Blood Nova, and T16, you know, with like nothing on, and it's pretty good. It's definitely way more fluid than it's ever felt. I didn't love, like we talked about, like the Iron Rose. It's actually pretty insane. Like you siphon blood, and the way it procs like the Blood Novas is so fast. Like it's actually pretty cool, but it feels so incomplete because you're generating 100% essence with nothing to spend it. Like you're not gonna spend it on Blood Novas, like because you get them for free with siphon blood, and you're not gonna like dump your essence with Mage because like then you might as well just be playing like a pet build, and then you would drop Blood Nova altogether. So it's like it just feels very incomplete. Like the Iron Rose change is cool
build, I guess. Right. You know.
But we tried theory crafting many things to try to like make it, but it was just better to not even mess with it and just run, you know, Blood Nova and cast Blood Nova. So
that's cool.
Yeah. I also really like the way Poison Scythe is going to play next season, because it's so much more fluid. But the problem with both of these builds that we just mentioned is they go away. They go away at the end of this season. Yep. So
it's kind of like Charge Barb going away. I think Charge Barb is a pretty awesome barbarian build, and it's gone. You know, so the things that you really, it would be cool if Blizzard could find a way to make those work without the seasonal theme.
Yeah.
You know, buff the defense somehow of the set, buff the damage of the set, but in a way that only works in that specific thing. Maybe make an item for that set, you know, to make it work or something. I don't know.
I think that these seasonal themes, I mean, they have to be exposing weaknesses, like we just said, like, you know, Raycore doesn't have that much mitigation to go with it, and you know, IK has like the stupid pets or whatever. I mean, yeah. So it's like
something, and this, you know, this goes to PTR feedback. They buff Sage, and there's like nobody can even really use the set.
Yeah.
Like Necro can't put it on at all. Like there's no damage build for a Necro where they can put Sages on and actually kill things.
Right. And it's my probably number one question. Like, what's a good Sage build for Necro? And people just don't. They don't know.
Yeah, there isn't. Like you can't. You can't do it.
You literally can't.
They need to make Sage build. Sage should have a piece for every slot. I think maybe is a solution where you could try to work it in. You know, neck, rings, belt, bracers, like all kinds of things. So you could sacrifice in that way, and then maybe you could filter it out. And I haven't spent tons of time analyzing how to fix Sage, but I hope that they consider that. Like take some of these crappy legendaries and just make them Sage pieces.
They really have to, because like, I mean, you look at like Crusader can run it okay in T16. Wizard No, I didn't. Not even like it could do it, but it's like you're putting yourself at a penalty for going that slow.
Right.
And kind of the same with Monk and DH. Like they just couldn't really wear it great.
Couldn't pull it off.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I hope they find a way to
Right.
make that at least viable for every class to have a build that could potentially use it. So,
Yeah. Agreed.
yeah. Other than that, man, I haven't spent crazy amounts of time in the PTR like I did in the past.
Sure. What are
I'm
you?
kind of afraid I'm going to burn myself out on it.
Okay.
Because we don't know how long the season's going to be. And
Right.
my fear is that we're going to get another 5-month season. And if we do, I want to experience as much fun as I can in the season. And if I try all the things in the PTR, then when the season comes, 4 weeks into it, I'm going to be like, well, I'm done.
Sure.
You know?
Sure. I'm kind of the same
If we
way.
had
Like
a
I would
2-month
love
season,
to.
it'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'd love to experience this like stuff fresh day one of season. But then again, I'm like, well, I'm a content creator. I need to like make the build guides and help the people out and stuff. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of in the same boat. I
Right.
feel you. I feel obligated to a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah, I think. Let's talk about how long do you think the season should last? I think 2 months was a great idea. I think that I wish the last season would have gone 2 months. I'm still down for a short season.
I honestly, and we're going to touch on this a little bit later, but so PoE very much has a cadence, a very strict cadence. I actually think it would be in Diablo's best interest to cadence 3 months as well, and halfway through the PoE league. So I think that like every, a month and a half, we'll hit a new PoE league, and every month and a half after that, we'll hit a new Diablo league. I think that's the best play.
Time their content.
Yeah.
When the PoE league is starting to die down.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
And we're going to touch on that in a minute, which is Chris Wilson was at GDC and he did this like amazing speech, and we'll link it. But yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts on like the Goblin portal, like the puzzle ring?
Oh yeah, I
being
kind of forgot
ancient
about
and
that.
primal?
It's cool, man. I think it's cool. Expectations. I hoped for a whole new area, a whole new map.
Yeah.
We didn't get a whole new map. They did darken it and make it
Did
look
they?
like it's nighttime and all the goblins are sleeping or some shit.
Okay.
I don't know.
I
It
didn't
looked like
notice
the
that.
ones that I did like 3 of them or 4 of them,
Okay.
and they were all really dark, so
Okay.
it looked nighttime. So that was cool. They did what they could. They put a filter on it.
Yeah.
There were shit tons of goblins. That was really cool.
Yeah. Did you run the
So-
primal and the ancient?
I did not. I
Okay.
had a primal,
Okay.
but it was gone. I must have destroyed
Got
it
it.
at some point. So I did not have a primal.
I did run a primal, and
Okay.
it was the same. It was the same as the ancient,
That's what I was told as well.
which is
Yeah,
unfortunate.
It's disappointing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's disappointing a little bit.
At the very least, it should drop a guaranteed primal at the end. The primal vault should drop a guaranteed primal at the end.
Yeah, and I think that'd be an awesome change too.
Yeah.
I don't know if they could pull that off. I don't know what coding it would take, but that would be a really cool,
Right.
you know.
Because then you're like,
Bonus.
oh, cool, I got a primal puzzle ring. Well, now I'm going to get like primal something else at least.
Yeah, but it is cool though. So when you get an ancient puzzle ring, you're gonna be like, "Oh, yeah, boys, I got an ancient puzzle ring."
Sure.
Like there were 36 goblins, I think, in the one that I did.
Right.
I think was
Right.
the number, somewhere very close to
a
that.
lot.
It's a lot, man. And the thing is, it's hard to tell how many legendaries you're gonna get from that because PTR has that juicy legendary drop rate. It was
Right.
ridiculous in the
Right.
PTR. I mean, it was like to
Right.
the point where I wasn't even looking at things. I was just blowing stuff
Yeah,
up
and that's
just
why
to
it's
see.
been kind of hard to gauge like T16. Like how many more drops are we going to get in T16? Because we got this crazy PTR drop right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't actually look at my character sheet to see the bonus,
Right.
the magic find bonus. I don't know if that would be reflective of the PTR buff or not.
Right.
But
What do you think about the
T6
DB amounts in T16?
4 to 5 on a 16. It's okay.
Sure.
It's okay. I think sages. If you can
Yeah,
get a sage
imagine
set
if you were
going 10,
Sage. Get 8 to
10 Death Breath.
Oh
I mean,
my
and like we were talking earlier, I think the only class that can really, at least that I've seen, that can really pull it off yet is Crusader.
Right.
So, but am I going to make a Crusader to farm DBs if I get low? I'm sure. I mean, why not? You know,
Sure.
10 per elite pack. That's, I
Right.
mean, shit. You're going to get a couple hundred a Rift. You
Right.
know? So,
But then again, at the same time, it's like, man, do I waste time and gear out a Crusader to get double DBs or just like farm on a Necro as fast as I possibly can.
Yeah.
T16.
I don't think. I think my problem has always been Forgotten Souls. So
Okay.
I didn't see if we were getting more Forgotten
Sure.
Souls.
I
at
always
the
run
end
at
of the lore.
DBs because I do upgrade a lot because you get such good value from upgrading Sice on a Necro.
Yeah, I mean I'm low too, but yeah, I do use them. That's I think that my handicap that I always feel
Right.
like I'm always out of this. It's always Forgotten Souls to me.
Yeah.
It's always like
I feel like it'll definitely
I'm out of
be
Forgotten
Forgotten
Souls.
Souls going forward with the addition of
Yeah.
T16. It'll always be
Yeah.
if you're short on souls.
But it's cool. I like it, man. I think it's T16 drops felt very in line. Experience, I didn't really get a gauge of that either.
Yeah.
People were telling me it was like double a T13 or something like that,
Right.
which is pretty insignificant. But I mean, a 100 Greater Rift is like leaps and bounds ahead of anything.
One thing that I found interesting and like I kind of felt it, but Bloodshed kind of confirmed it. So like he was in a T16 on his Wave of Light Monk, and like he was struggling big time. And then he jumped into a GR75 and crushed it. So the scaling is actually way off right now.
You think it's higher? So
yeah.
it's higher?
Oh yeah. So I think that we're actually closer to like 83 is T16.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I just assumed it was 75 because
Right.
that's what it would go based on their own scaling.
Right.
I
But
didn't
even like the
confirm that.
scaling we have right now, like so it says T13 is GR60, but it's not. It's like GR63.
Okay. So they just
So
kind of
the scaling got worse. Like is basically I think what happens. Like the higher it goes, the more off it is, and so I think we're just.
I
like,
wonder if they would consider correcting. I didn't look at the grid. Does the Greater Rift drop down still show the 16, 14, 15, 16 on it?
it does.
And did it say 75?
It did. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's something that they should definitely look into.
Right.
Maybe the scaling's off completely, and they're like, "Oh shit, we
Yeah.
put a decimal point in the wrong spot."
Right.
The office spaced it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the two builds that I tried were Captain America Crusader and then Singularity Necro. They both crushed it. I
Right.
mean, they absolutely destroyed it from the very first run I
Yep.
did. So I haven't tried anything I'm super familiar with yet.
Yeah.
Wave of Light would be something I would be interested in trying, though. So maybe I'll hop on one of my pre-built.
Yeah, I
old
think that's
seasonal
important to
characters and
try.
just test it.
Because like I went back and like kind of tested T16 among like all the T13 builds I've ever come up with to just kind of confirm like, okay, this one's totally dead now. Like Razor Teeth, it's just like you can't do it. And One Shot Spirit, get out of here, no fucking way. So it's like, yeah, it sucks. Like the builds that like were probably my favorite, like Pestilence was just insane for T13, like so much fun.
Yeah.
And now it's like it's definitely a lot slower, and nothing's gonna compare to like Singularity Speed, like the Wrathma or the mages, not the Wrathma, but the lawn mages.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous.
So that just sucks. Like just knowing that, in the back of my head, it's like, well, T16, I'm gonna run mages. That's what I'm gonna do.
Like that's always kind of secretly been one of my favorite T13 builds.
Sure.
So that's cool. But at the same time though, like, you ran Blightspear forever. How did Blightspear do?
Blightspear's like fine in T16. It's not really. It was never really meant to be like a T13, a Torment farming build. It's like a GR farming
It's
build
more of
because
a
it doesn't
GR
kill. The problem with it is it doesn't kill all the trash. Does that make sense? Like it kills all the elites like instantly, and it'll kill like while you have Land of the Dead up, it'll kill everything on your screen. But there's that like window of 10 to 12 to 15 seconds that you don't have Land of the Dead up, and the corpse lances aren't being spit out, and you don't kill anything. So it's never going to be as fast as the mages now. So
Mages are going to be good for everything.
Right.
They're going to be good for
Bounties,
GR farming. They're
right.
going to be good for like just absolutely everything.
Yep.
And especially if Reaper Wraps somehow stay broken, then oh my god,
There's no
you're
way
going to be
that-
full essence all the time.
I don't know. I mean, with Denvalis coming out and saying it's a bug, there's just no way that stays. I don't know.
I hope. Let's predict the season start date. So the season ends on May 12th. That's a Sunday.
Sure.
The following Friday, if we pull good old Windows calendar up here, the following Friday is the 17th.
Yeah.
The week after that's the 24th.
It's going to be the
So,
17th. They seem to be very dedicated to this very, very short break in between
Okay.
seasons.
Yeah, I was saying probably the 24th, the 17th or the 24th. I was more leaning towards the 24th because I just always feel like they're gonna need time to fix bugs. Like they have bugs, they have
Yeah, but we're
redirect
a
bugs,
month
they have
away right now, and they're going to
darts and
end
dagger bugs.
PTR this Friday.
Friday, yeah,
So that gives them like so much time to like. What are they going to change? They're going to nerf Chantoto, and they're going to make sure the DoD is working. That's all they have to do.
they oh man, they better not nerf Chantoto. Don't do it, please. Don't crush me like that.
Right. But I'm just saying, of the things they could potentially do, at the very least, they're
no.
going to fix DoD, which is not that much time. And then maybe look at the scaling. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll
But-
see.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. So the 17th, yeah, I think that's a pretty reasonable start date.
Yeah.
Starting to plan.
Yeah.
All right, that Friday it's going to be on.
Yeah.
Do you have more PTR stuff that you wanted to hit that we?
Not really. No.
Oh, let's talk about the search feature, man. How
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
awesome is that?
Let's pull it
Good.
up, actually.
Man, that is amazing. It is so amazing.
Yeah, if you guys
are
haven't seen-
listening to the podcast and you can't see the visuals, Fluff is actually on his Diablo account right now, and he's going to demonstrate. But it grays out your inventory
Yeah.
when you search for something.
So I just searched for like bovines.
And
only
it
showing a
is, it feels like it's always been there. It
Yeah.
really does. It feels so good that it's like, I don't understand how this wasn't a thing. It's amazing. Thank you.
Yes,
That's
it's amazing.
awesome.
Thank you. It's awesome. But I have a problem with it. Because I should be able to type boots and see boots. I should be able to type cooldown and see everything that has cooldown.
Yeah.
So I think that it's meh. I think
complete?
it's meh. It's like literally just like a keyword search, which is fine. But like, how many times have you, like, we've been playing this game forever. And it's like, oh man, I need those shoulders. Like, what do they do? What are they called?
Yep.
And you're just looking for it anyways. Like, so
Yeah.
it's stupid.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's there. My complaint is I use the W key as my force walk. When Diablo came out, I was a huge World of Warcraft player.
Yeah.
And W is obviously forward. So I wanted to transition between. I was playing both games at the same time.
Yeah.
So I bound W to force walk.
That's funny.
And so when I want to walk away from the stash now, I hit the W key, which I've always done.
Right.
It types W and spams W. So I have to click away. And like, that's just not how I've played the game for the last, whatever, since 2012. And I got to get used to that.
Yeah.
But the autofocus is cool. I'd probably rather have it. Well, spacebar is your closed menus. It's just like these things are just ingrained. You can't,
Yeah.
It's like a clicker that tries to use force move. I could try to tell people, like, if you've never used force move, you got to do it. But could you imagine that switch if you've played for 8 years by clicking?
It's like PoE. You only have like the 5 or 6 skills, and I actually have to like, you can set one of your skills to be force move, but you can never rebind. There's no such thing as like force move key binding in PoE, so it drives me absolutely crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
That sounds ridiculous.
It's so stupid.
So how do you bind a skill to force move? That doesn't.
So you just have to bind, like, so we have these abilities, like, like in Diablo, like 1, 2, 3, 4, or whatever. So you'd have to say, well, 3 is also spacebar if you wanted that to be your force move, like your alternate keybind, like you do in Diablo,
Yeah.
And then on the skill itself, there's like an option. If you click it, it'll bring up, it'll show like little footsteps, and that means like force move.
That sounds horrible.
It's awful. It's actually awful. I can't stand it. I hate ARPGs that don't let you rebind force move. Because like,
force move needs to be a thing always. It needs to
Always.
have its own keybind.
Yeah,
for sure.
Because left clicking the move in the current year
Is
are you
just
kidding
ridiculous.
Me? No.
You like, how many times do you try to click the move and you attack something? And
Right.
it's like, oh, I'm dead. I'm dead.
Like clicking left clicking to pick stuff up. Like, it's always going to be a thing. So like the movement needs to be something else.
Or to attack. Yeah.
Right. So
All right. Yeah, I'm with you. There needs to be filters on there, like where you can type like maybe is : boots, is : dagger, or whatever. Just some form of advanced filtering. Would be
I'd like
really,
to see
really
it
cool.
not go that complicated, and like so people wouldn't have to know like
type dagger.
pseudocode,
Yeah.
for a game. Like, because PoE does that. PoE is like you're looking at your atlas and you have to like type tier colon like 10 and it'll show you like all the tier like, and no one's ever gonna know that like going into the game. And there's
Have you
nowhere
tried
that
that?
explains that.
Have you tried like is I'm
boots?
sure it won't work.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, just try is
Yeah,
everything's
weapon?
gone.
No,
Everything's
no.
grayed out already.
Right.
Yeah.
You colon anything?
So it'd be cool. I mean, there were some suggestions. I would rather keep it how it is now and just focus more on other quality of life improvements.
For sure.
Like add this functionality to the leaderboard. You know?
Yes.
Like
Yeah, all they really have to do is just add a column. Like they don't even have to add like a filter. They just add a column that says, "Hey, monk SWK6." Like
yeah. And then maybe Paragon, like list of Paragon.
Yeah.
Filterable.
Yeah. Obviously, a fully fledged filter would be amazing. But
Yeah. So what else? What else did we get? I think that's like all of the major things.
Yeah.
Nothing else is jumping out. If I think of something later, we'll hit it. But I agree, man. So you already started to talk about this a little bit. Path of Exiles dropped some GDC goodness.
Yeah, this is absolutely fascinating. If you're a big fan of ARPGs and you're a big fan of Diablo, like this, you gotta watch this. It's actually incredibly interesting. It's not like necessarily about PoE, but it is about like PoE success and like how they've kind of achieved it. And so first he talks about a lot of stuff, and I'm just gonna kind of highlight what I thought were like the most interesting factoids. He talks about the pillars of like a good loot and shoot kind of game, which is one, visceral action combat, and you can stop me anytime and agree or disagree. Randomly generated levels, randomly generated items, secure online economy, and deep character customization. He calls those the pillars of ARPGs.
I agree with every single one of those pillars. I think he's onto something.
Right. And then he goes on, and he kind of talks about how what they kind of learned early on. Like before they would do like kind of small content updates like once every couple weeks or once like a month, and it didn't really impact their numbers. Like they always wanted to stay at like 10,000 concurrent viewers. That's something he said like throughout the video. And like they just kept trying stuff, and then the numbers kept going down like over time.
10,000 concurrent viewers on Twitch?
Or not viewers, sorry, players.
Players, okay.
But yeah, and then he talked about the stuff that did work. So they found in their like 2 years or whatever, like so they from beta they went up like crazy. Like the numbers were crazy high. I think I've got a chart of that. Like it was the highest it's ever been, and it dropped down like for really low. But they were at 10,000, so they were successful in their own minds. But what they found is that like the small content patches like didn't bring any players back ever. It just like sustained, and the balance changes during a league. Like say Veers makes it into next season, and halfway through the season they nerfed Veer. Like people hate that. It would cause like tons of players to quit, uproar over the forums and stuff like that. And then if people never knew like when content was coming, they would be much less likely to come back, which is fascinating. One, because like we haven't seen a consistent like X amount of time season in forever. Like every season they're changing it. And I guess maybe they're still trying to land on like the perfect amount of time, but like they can't keep doing that, man. They just really cannot.
And extending a season, it felt so bad this season.
Oh yeah.
As soon as they announced that, like, and I said this on like the last 5 podcasts.
Sure.
As soon as they announced that, it just sucked the life
Right.
out of the game for my community. It was just like poof, instantly gone.
Right.
It was insane.
And then you're gonna have those players that are like, well, I'm like even that left maybe even before they announced the extension, right? And they're gonna come back after they're like 3 months because that's like when a season should be, and they're gonna see people like still playing the season. They're gonna be like, what the fuck? And then just like never come back, kind of thing.
Yep.
But yeah, and then he talks about how what they did see success is what they would do. Like they would stick to a schedule. Like so every 3 months, every 13 weeks is what they do. They do like a major update, and they say like small on this chart, but a small like PoE update is like still fucking huge, right? by Diablo standards. By really any game standards. We talked about this before. There's not a lot of games out there besides like maybe Fortnite that gets as much content as PoE does, and they do it really well. And then and it's like a cycle. So they do 13 weeks, and they do like a small update, which is still huge, and then do like a big, like what they call kind of expansions in PoE on the other cycle. And so like they see like people come back. They plan. The crazy thing about this, and this is the thing I found like most fascinating, is he is like, they know players quit, and they actually like they expect it, and they kind of base their entire game plan around players quitting.
Yeah,
like they know it's going to happen, and then that's why they kind of stuck to like that 3-month schedule, because like they come back, they expect it, like, so 3 months they come back and they haven't really been following the game, and they see there's like a bunch of new content, and so they come back and play some more, and they strictly gear like microtransactions towards the start of leagues and have like specials, and because they know that's when people are going to come back, and it's obviously very much working for them. And so you can see like the chart here, like over time, like they kept with the strategy, and the numbers are just like insane.
And their lulls don't. I mean, their lulls still go down.
Right.
You know, they're still dipping to that bottom
look at
line.
that. Yeah.
But it's like, but their peaks. Like, look at the peaks though. Like, and if they're consistently hitting those peaks, like they're getting bigger peaks every single time.
Right. And these are kind of like the bigger updates, right? So like they say that like the smaller one, and then to get the bigger one, and it's the smaller one and the bigger one. So that's exactly what like they expect. Now, the thing that was really interesting here, kind of off topic, but someone in the crowd did ask, like, do you feel like BlizzCon kind of aided the success of PoE? And he goes, honestly, man, like, look at the graph. It's like this right here. You can see it. Like, that's due to BlizzCon. So I was like, oh, shit.
When did he say BlizzCon happened? Where is it at in the graph?
It's right here. That's the big one.
The big one was when BlizzCon happened?
Yep. So.
God damn.
Yep.
Thank you. Could you imagine working at GGG and during that BlizzCon announcement? I mean,
yeah, you'd be jumping for joy, right?
They probably had a fucking party.
Yeah.
You know, they were probably like celebrating in their conference room, you know?
Yeah.
Fuck yes.
I think a lot of ARPG like probably were. I think that probably reinvigorated. Like, I think, like, from what I've seen of like Wilson and some of these other ARPGs that are coming out, it seems like they kind of doubled their efforts after BlizzCon, because I feel like they felt like, okay, now there's going to be a lot of players like looking for another ARPG to play. So that's interesting. But then like he keeps going on. It's just like it, like, again, if you can watch the whole thing, it is an hour long, but it's like, if you're into this kind of shit, like, it's amazing.
If you have time to just throw it on at work or whatever, or you're, you know.
And then he goes on to like, he talks about like the key things they hit, like every single league. They make sure they have like story updates for all those guys that love story. They have new combat mechanics, the people that are.
It's so hard for you to choke off that story.
I know, it is. It is.
Fucking campaign.
They have like long-term objectives for like those players that are like, and they said specifically in this video, like, they do what, like, this end game content that only 10% of their players are ever going to see, and it takes up like 20 to 30% of their entire dev effort just for those 10% of players.
That's crazy.
Right. But they know that they, like, those players, like, they need something.
They got to keep it.
You're right. They need, and then those players are going to like figure out ways to farm that, and that's their whole enjoyment.
Like, I love stats. I love statistics.
Right.
This shit is like so cool to me.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I didn't get to watch the whole video,
right.
but I'm gonna. I chunked out some of the sections that you highlighted.
Sure.
But I definitely am gonna go back and play this tomorrow.
Right.
And watch this thing. I would love to see these numbers for Diablo.
Like, it's crazy, right?
To see these numbers.
But yeah, so they like all these little checkpoints. It's like those are things that they like. They've kind of targeted their audience down into like all these genres, and they make sure they hit like every single
rebalance,
one. Right.
Crafting,
new skills, like just
item rewards.
Yeah. And he talks about there's people that like play the game. They don't like even give a shit about the combat. They're all about the crafting, and like they just want to see like new abilities, and like all these players, all this huge chunk of players that like never even make it to like the Atlas, which is like kind of like a greater rift, I guess you could say, kind of like the end game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what like makes them keep coming back, and it's like they make sure to cater to that because they know that they just like know everyone's gonna quit, but they know how to get them back like every time. So it's actually fascinating. And so I hope
that's a cool model because that's how you keep people in your game, though. To me, like I think you're always going to have that side chick. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're always going to have that other game that entices you to play it a little bit, but your main game, man, you're going to get hyped for those big releases every 13 weeks, or I guess if it's 13 weeks for a big, 13 for a small, so it's going to be like a 26-week cycle for those big ones. That you're going to come back every single time, and you're going to be like, all right, this is cool. I'm going to go play something else for a little bit.
Right.
But they know, they're like,
yeah,
okay,
like I can't wait to see the next league. Like
got this crack coming.
Yeah,
that's cool. They've already spent their $20 on the cosmetics
sure.
or whatever for this league.
We milked them.
26 more weeks. We're gonna get them to buy our game again and give us another $20. And like that's such a awesome model. And to me, like I think this is gonna derail slightly for a second, but
sure.
I think we get a lot of flack because I'm pro microtransactions to support the game.
Yeah.
And I know that's like super anti-gamer in a lot of people's minds. I don't have a problem supporting a game that I really love.
Sure.
If it's a $60 title, microtransactions feel bad.
Yeah.
If it's a free game like PoE, microtransactions are fine. I have no problem with it because they're giving it away for free.
Yeah.
Honestly, over time in the last 2 or 3 years, my opinion on free to play has changed dramatically because of games like PoE and Warframe, how successful they are in Fortnite, and how much you can get people to play. Like I could say, anybody can come play the game with you and enjoy the game, and then if they want to look cool, they can spend some money.
Right. And it's really interesting too because he actually goes into that in this, and he said we actually had to. Like, people had such a negative opinion of free to play, like when they first started going free to play. Yeah. And like they had to kind of trick people into feeling like they were paying to play. Like it was, I don't remember what he says exactly, but he like talks about it. And it's like, again, this whole video is just like super fascinating. But
that's crazy, man.
But the other thing, and someone just reminded me in chat, this was huge, right? So they said directly is that they hire like people that play the game, people that play the game and know the game better than they could ever hope, as developers and game designers. Like they hired like them as testers, I hired them as developers, whatever. And I was just like, man, like that obviously resonates so hard because it's like, to me, I've always thought that was like, well, that seems in my head like it would be a really good idea. Right? Like this is like kind of fact, right? And then it makes me think like, okay, like Blizzard never even called me back. Like I'm overqualified. I played this game way more than anyone there and didn't even get a call. Like that's actually crazy. And so I think that those are like, it was just like one of those like, whoa, like Diablo's got it bad right now kind of thing.
It makes me wonder how out of touch with the community are they, or do they just not like you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's and I'm being serious, man.
Sure.
And this kind of like it's comical because we laugh at it.
Sure.
But if somebody in that position of like, oh fuck this guy, we're not going to call him back. Like you got to kind of as an adult and as a professional, you have to overlook those biases to get to know somebody. Sure. I feel like.
Yeah. So
if that's the reason, that's super. It's just irresponsible, I guess is the word. Maybe I don't know, but and then if it's an out of touch thing, it's just like, man, really? Because I agree with you. Like, even if you weren't a fit for any positions they had on the team, the fact that you are a software developer, you have skills in the arena that they're looking for people to fill, and you've got like 50,000 hours in their game. To not even get like a, hey man, well, let's talk.
Let's have
what
a
are your credentials? Let's see like what's your coding skills and what do you this is what we're offering and is that something you're interested in? And it's crazy to me.
And I don't just look at it from that perspective, but I also kind of considered it from this other perspective. And let me know what you think here. But like how I feel like how big of a PR move could it have been to be like, you know what? Like that guy that caused this uproar and was like it's just not coming to PC and caused the boo. Like he now like works with us. Like how could that not be like in the community's eyes like a good PR play?
Yeah, maybe. And that may be something that they don't even want to deal with.
Sure.
I think PR for them is like off the table.
Like,
I think that they want to not even make a headline, good or bad. I think they want to like kind of just hide until. I think Blizzard is going to turtle until they have Diablo 4 news.
That makes sense.
I think Immortal's just going to drop on us. I think I don't even know if they're going to have some crazy announcement. They'll probably throw it on the website and then article sites like Kotaku and Forbes is like all up in the gaming industry lately. I don't know what's going on with that, but like Forbes and all these other IGN and places, they'll like, hey, Immortal dropped, but I don't think there's going to be some big super launch event, and I just don't. I think it's going to be like, oh, it's in the store right now. It launched an hour ago. And then Diablo 4 the same way. I don't think we're going to see a peep out of Diablo 4 until it's like. I hope I don't know.
Right.
I kind of like they showed us Diablo Immortal at BlizzCon and we haven't heard a peep. So is that a good thing? Like, what if they did that with Diablo 4? So this BlizzCon, let's say that they show us a playable demo of Diablo 4, and then we don't hear a word for another 12 months.
Well, I think that's entirely contingent upon the reaction of the community. Like, obviously, Immortal was not well received, and so much so that's probably the least well received game maybe in history.
History of ever.
Yeah, I mean, of course we haven't really heard anything to me, because it's like, why would if they post anything, and we talk about this week after week, it's just like people posting pictures of the red shirt guy and like, don't you guys have fun? Like, they get attacked instantly, which they kind of made their own bed, so I don't feel that bad for them, but like of course not. But if Diablo 4 BlizzCon 2019, they demo Diablo 4 and people are like, oh my god, I can't fucking wait for this game. You don't think we'd hear like little snippets and articles between then and release? I think we would.
I don't know. I'm waiting for the Kotaku article from Jason Schreier to come out about the Diablo Immortal like it'll happen. This dude has leaked the Destiny one. He now got the Anthem one. At some point after Diablo Immortal's release, he's going to get like the lowdown of BlizzCon 2018. Like there's going to be we were supposed to have a Diablo 4. We announced it. We got the forges burning hot, everybody hype. And then we realized, oh, fuck, this is not ready to go. We cannot announce this. We're scrapping the project. Right. Somebody quit. Something happened, man.
Or that Alan Adham guy was like, no, people are going to love this. Like, I think it could be that too.
But they knew, man. We said in the podcast, Wyatt Chang even talked to me directly and said, I was listening to your podcast and you said, Blizzard, don't drop Diablo Immortal on us.
But I think that they were so like up their own ass that they thought that once people saw it, they would change their mind. Like, Alan, you listened, like, you saw those clips after BlizzCon.
Yeah, man.
That Alan Adham guy is so incredibly detached. He has no fucking clue about what these players want. And so, like, to me, I honestly, like, because he's obviously the one calling the shots on a lot of this stuff. It's like, well, yeah, people don't really want a mobile game right now, but wait until they see this fully fledged experience for the mobile device. And then people are going to go crazy. That's going to be our opening ceremony. So it's like, yeah.
Let's play Diablo 2 theme music and get them hyped up.
Yeah.
Let's talk about. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't get over it, man. I can't. I'm still emotionally scarred.
Obviously, if you were there, even if you weren't there, man, like there's definitely like this emotional weight that BlizzCon 2018 like will always have. I mean, especially if you're there because you paid this out of the ass money. Like we both paid like $1,500 at least.
It's like this. It's like walking in your girlfriend cheating on you or something. It's really like one of these things that's just here in your mind forever. Like I think about it. Like, I don't know if I think about it every day, but I think about it a lot.
Right.
Like,
we have baggage. Man. We're both jaded, like permanently.
Yeah.
Because of it.
Yeah. And it's like, are you going to go to BlizzCon 2019? I'm like, I don't know. Probably not. I don't know. So, all right. I derailed the crap out of us.
Yeah.
So did we have more points from this guy, or was that?
No, I mean that's kind of. He goes on to
That's
like talk
It's
about like
interesting.
yeah,
You
it's
should watch
super
it.
interesting. He just, like they make assets for like no reason, so that
Are
when
you
they
going to link this in the YouTube
yes
description
for
too?
sure
Yeah. So if you guys are watching on
yeah,
YouTube, just scroll
it's
down and see
amazing.
if you can
It's so
get that.
interesting, but yeah.
Yeah. Yep, yep. All right. Let me see.
Do we?
What else do we got?
We're at
So yeah,
20 minutes
we
over.
can
Over.
we can hit Twitter. Twitter
Yeah, yeah,
questions shouldn't take too long.
sure.
Let me think. Was there anything else? Oh, one thing that I thought was interesting today,
Yeah.
and I didn't even really know this was going on, is there was a fight for the future. Twitch was doing this stream, and I think it's already over. But
Right.
basically, there was some voting going on in the Senate. I think it's the Senate. I don't know if it's the House or the Senate today or tomorrow or whatever. But they're voting on net neutrality. And if you guys aren't educated on this, I said, just take a couple minutes, man, and read some of the cliff notes.
Right.
It's super interesting, and it's super. If you're
Terrifying.
watching us, yeah, if you're watching us, that means that you are a consumer of the things that this is going to affect. YouTube, Twitch, any kind of live streaming service or any service that uses your internet. It could be Netflix or Hulu. So research that a little bit, and basically they're voting to make net neutrality a federal law, which would override the FCC's ruling to get rid of net neutrality. So it's a pretty big deal, at least on the shaping of the internet. And I thought it was interesting personally. So check it out, man. Google it. It's it's there.
It's terrifying.
And
Yep.
yeah, it's crazy. Just like the Article 13 shit that
Yeah.
happened in Europe recently. Like that's more stuff you can look at and see how this affects you as a consumer or even us as content creators.
Or as gamers, really.
Yeah. And did we talk about Anthem last week? I wanted to
No,
hit
we did
this
not.
really
We didn't hit it.
Okay, so this is something I wanted to talk about last week. We went 2 hours
Yeah.
over, so I didn't.
Yeah.
But
Like we do.
I just want to hit it really fast because we're over again today. But dude, Jason Schreier dropped this article. This is the BioWare response, is what Fluff has on the screen right now. But Jason Schreier also dropped a Kotaku article, and if you haven't seen these, man, you should read it. It's a long read. The Kotaku article it's probably a good 10-minute read, maybe 15-minute read for you. He just talks about the struggles of how Anthem became what it is, how they were forced by EA to put this game out, how they had to change the name of the game. Like the day, like they were at EA or E3 2017 wearing shirts that said Beyond because that was the name that Anthem was going to be. They couldn't secure copyrights. They had to change the name of the game, like literally at E3. And it's just crazy, man. The stuff that they went through, the struggles, the work environments, the ethics. People were like devs. They had like 19 different devs like interviewed with Jason Schreier about this, and devs were saying they were crying in closets because of the work hours and the stress.
Fuck,
and
man.
It's just insane, man. Like it's crazy, but once you start, it's super long. But once you start reading it, it's like I couldn't stop. I read
Right.
the whole damn article.
Yeah, I'm sure it's
and
super
it was baller. It was interesting to see, and since then, so BioWare instantly put out a press statement about this when he dropped it. And they didn't specifically name him, but it's about his article. And it's just, so read his article and then read BioWare, and you can make your own conclusions, but it's crazy.
Right.
So if you're into Anthem or you're into game development or just, you want to see kind of the behind the scenes of the industry, this is something, and it caught my interest.
Yeah.
So,
I'll have to check that out.
yep. Game of Thrones this Sunday.
That's crazy, right?
Dude.
Woo!
That's all I'm gonna say. Next podcast, man, we're gonna have we're gonna have to like start a side podcast of Game of Thrones theory crafting for a couple days. I'm so excited for that too.
Sure.
But anything else on this you wanted to hit up, or you want to jump into Twitter?
I mean, Blackout came out with the new, really small VR map, which I'm actually.
Is it small?
Yeah, it's super, super small. And you like respawn if you teammates stay alive for like 5 seconds after you die or some crazy shit. So
what?
Yeah, it's like
5 seconds
kind
is
of
super
an
short.
Yeah, it's like an overhaul. It's like a way faster pace than they've ever been. So, which is kind of good because like Call of Duty, I think is meant to be fast paced. So I'm gonna check it out.
Was it fun? Have you played?
I haven't got to play it yet. No. I was kind of hoping to pop up as a bounty, if I'm being honest. And it did. It did not.
It didn't. Right. I think it did for PlayStation though.
No,
I got one for PlayStation, and I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I couldn't,
Right.
I wouldn't have people show up. So,
Yeah.
and that's how. Okay, I gotta hit this one too.
Okay,
So
what?
respawn.
What's up?
Respawn makes Apex.
Yes.
Right. Okay. I don't know if you've seen this, man, but there's a Jedi Fallen Order game that got teased today, and it's made by Respawn.
Okay.
What is this? Like Respawn made Titanfall as well, right?
Didn't they make all the? I don't know.
I don't know, but it's made by the Apex creators, and
Okay.
I was that's what caught my eye. I'm like, okay, it's a Star Wars game. I love Star Wars games.
Sure.
It's made by Respawn. Apex is a baller game.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what are they doing? Is it gonna be a shooter, a Star Wars shooter?
Or
know.
like you think it's gonna be like a single player game? You don't. That's the kind of question, I guess.
I don't know.
BR.
I mean,
Star Wars BR, baby.
Star Wars PR. I don't know. But I'm interested, though. I mean, I'm interested. Anything Star Wars catches my attention.
Sure.
So I know nothing about this. I just saw this IGN article, and I'm like, okay, what's this?
Players will
What's
take
going
on
here?
the role of Jedi Padawan during the aftermath of episode. Sounds like a
I don't know,
single-player
but they're gonna drop
bullshit
it
game.
soon. So if I find more info on this, I'm
Yeah.
going to.
Word.
And if you guys out there see info, be sure to tweet it at me, man. I'd
Yeah.
be interested to. This is something that's on my radar. I know nothing about it, but I'm all about Star Wars stuff.
Sure.
So it looks cool.
BR, come on, do it.
BR. All right. Yeah, you all jumped down as Jedi. You're like lightsaber BR.
Fuck
How
yeah,
fun would that be? I'd play it. I'm
Yep.
not gonna lie, I'd try it out. Let's see. Lisa says, "What build can solo farm the highest GRs, assuming Captain America gets nerfed?" It's gonna be Necro, I would assume, if Captain America gets.
Can farm the
Nerfed on,
highest
but-
GRs? Is that what that says?
Yeah.
Captain America
would-
farm.
I mean,
really?
I don't know. We're gonna say push. We're gonna say push.
Yeah,
What-
the
what change
highest
farm to push?
GRs. I mean, we haven't even seen this Thorns guy play
Mm-hmm.
on the PTR. I would assume that's going to at least do like 135.
Yeah.
But yeah, not including Captain America Crusader, it's going to be Wiz, right? Veer Wiz. They're
Yeah,
132 or
super
something like
powerful
that?
too. I mean, you got to take it with a grain of salt,
Yeah.
man, because farming and then the leaderboards are like a handful of like the elite, less than a percent
Sure.
people. You know.
Sure.
So, if you're saying about like what's the average player, what are you calling an average player, and what are they going to push? I would think your average, Paragon 1000 player is going to easily probably be able to get into the 110 plus range on almost anything they play.
Right.
So
Right.
if you're a decent player. So my thing is like, I wouldn't let the highest choose my class. I would let the play style choose my class.
Right.
What play style are you looking for?
Yeah.
Do you want to be, look at the Veer's Wiz, Chantoto's Wiz that's going to come out. Does that look fun to you? Does Captain America look fun to you? Does, the Lon Pesty look fun? And go on that,
Yeah,
So.
agreed. Never play just like, 'cause, that's hitting 130 something. Like, play something because it's fun.
I mean, obviously, if you look at the boards and you see like Witch Doctor peaking at 95 and Necros peaking at 120,
Right.
then okay,
You know
Necro
you're
is
gonna be at a
to easily
disadvantage,
outpush the Witch Doctor. But assuming things are in a similar
Right.
ballpark, then just play what's fun.
Sure.
So
And consider group meta as well, in your
Yeah.
decision. If you
yeah,
like
group
play.
meta is super important. I think a lot of people make the mistake of what's the best solo, and then they realize, oh man, I'm really at a Paragon disadvantage, or speed. I mean, just gym leveling.
Right.
I mean, how much easier is it to play metas and do some 120s for gym ups versus trying to solo?
Right.
A 110 or 115.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Right.
So. And Jiggity22 says, "What's the sleeper flying under the radar for this season?"
Probably Thorns.
and-
Thorns solo Necro, I think.
I think the sleeper is going to be Impale Demon Hunter because nobody's going to want to play it because last season it was the thing, and I think it's still going to be super crazy powerful and easy, and you're going to get the set for free from the gifts from the seasonal journey.
To me, I take
and I don't
sleeper as
think-
like, what haven't we found out is really like
Yeah.
OP yet.
Yeah, we haven't found it. I don't know how to answer that, but I don't think people are going to play Impale this season like they did last season,
Sure.
and I think it would be
I
a
don't know what the
decent
shadow
consideration
start,
for the
though.
start of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting that set right off the bat.
Right.
But as far as sleeper, I don't know. I mean, Captain America's already discovered. Veers is already discovered. So
No one's pushing Thorns Necro on PTR, and that could crush it. So I think that's the sleeper right now.
okay, there it is.
Terrible
John the
build.
Parasite says, "What boss fight in any game do you remember the most?"
Any game.
Any game.
There's so many.
Fucking Mike fucking Tyson, dude. Mike Tyson and Mike Tyson's Punch Out on NES
What?
kicked my ass. Man, he was so hard.
What?
In all seriousness, there are so many that stand out to me. But Mike Tyson's Punch Out was one of the first games. I mean, in the household of video games, I had every system. I had an Atari. Like my older brother had an Atari as a kid, so I literally came in with Pong and Asteroids and Pitfall and all that shit. But when we got a Nintendo, man, we got Mike Tyson's Punch Out, and I could get up to Mike Tyson, and I mean, God, I was young. Mike Tyson's Punch Out probably came out, I don't know, mid 80s, late 80s, like 87, 88. So I was 6, 7 years old. I could get to Mike Tyson, but I remember the first time I beat him, it took me months to beat Mike Tyson.
Sure.
So,
Right on. I mean, yeah, some of the big games growing up, like, you know, Final Fantasy VII, like fighting Sephiroth, and actually like Knights of the Round, you know, like that whole thing, or the weapons from Final Fantasy VII. Those were big boss fights.
Sephiroth in Final Fantasy VII was all time my favorite villain. Like he was the most badass. Sure. Like this dude, you wanted to be him. You wanted to kick ass with him. Like that section where you got to fight alongside of him. Right. You were just like,
oh, is he going to join my party at some time? Dude.
They had that fire cutscene where he's standing there in the flames with this sword. And you're just like, this dude is fucking awesome.
Right.
But yeah, but his final battle wasn't super memorable to me. It was the whole experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's up there.
Sure. I mean, I'm going to talk about real quick, like some of the more standout ARPG fights. Like
Belial.
Yeah, Belial for the first time was really good. I think honestly, like Wilson fighting that Skeleton King for the first time was pretty good. We did that Warhammer and fighting that guy that was like spitting acid and shit like that. That was a good fight. But yeah, like big long fights, were good. And any boss fight in Lost Ark, oh my god, any boss fight in Lost Ark.
In more recent memory, it was Diablo not Diablo. Ragnaros and MC in Vanilla WoW was. I remember the first time the guild beat him. Like, you know, it's a 40-man raid. There's 40 of us, 3 nights a week, 4 nights a week. We were pushing him, and it took a long time to beat him. And when we beat him, Ventrilo literally blew up, and everybody was just screaming and cheering, and it was fucking cool, man. It was a cool thing. Like I still have a Fraps clip of that somewhere.
Nice.
So, yeah, nice. It was. I go back and watch me play, and I'm like, God damn, I was a noob. What the fuck was I doing? Like it was so bad. I won't even show people the clip because I'm so embarrassed of my own gameplay.
Sure.
In it, but
you were freaking out. Were you nervous?
Yeah, man, we were getting so close to killing.
What were you? Like were you deeps or what?
I was playing a mage. I was Frostbolt or
so you just stand still casting.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
Yeah, running out of mana. So
cool.
Yep. That's a cool question though. Thank you for that one, John. Muggle Mama says, if you could be any Avenger, which one would you
We're not
pick?
talking about this person.
I already know where we're going. Listen. I got made Black Widow, okay?
Yeah,
and I get it. I'm the most attractive.
Is it worse?
I understand.
Is it worse? Is it worse to be Black Widow other than Hawkeye? Like, I think Hawkeye's worse than Black Widow.
You think?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, Black Widow is hot.
Yeah,
Hawkeye's just...
She's like an assassin. She fucks dudes up. Hawkeye just shoots some fucking arrows, man.
All right. No, if I could pick one... Dude, Iron Man is pretty fucking... I would say... I rewatched Avengers Infinity War Sunday, because I already had my tickets to Endgame ready to go. I thought it was badass. Thor kicked some serious fucking ass after he got his axe. So I'm gonna say Thor.
Okay. I'm torn. Obviously, I look like Captain America. I don't really like the Captain America character very much because he's like such a goody two shoes. So I mean, superhuman intellect, and it's gotta be Iron Man. It's gotta be Tony Stark, and plus the wit. It's goes hand in hand with me. So I'm torn. And I'm a dreamboat, so I'm like a heartthrob, like Thor. I get it. It's just so many. I could be any one of those three, but not Hawkeye.
So your pick is Hawkeye. Got it. Gettert says, "Is the song Old Town Road country?" And it's a song. If you haven't heard, like, it took me a second to figure out what he was talking. I'm like, what are you talking about? But then I looked it up. So there's a song by Lil Nas X, and it's this song. I don't know if you want to play it on the VOD because it might get us muted.
No, I cannot.
Or get it.
Yeah.
But if you guys haven't heard this, so the thing is, this song charted on Billboard 100 country, and then Billboard took it down, and they're like, "This isn't country," and then everybody was in an uproar, or not everybody, but people, some people were like, "That's bullshit. It's racist. It's country." I personally think it's country. They did a remix of it with Achy Breaky Heart dude, Miley Cyrus's dad. What the fuck's his name? Billy Ray Cyrus.
Yep.
It's a new age country, but I personally think, yes, it should be considered country.
I do not think it's country.
Do not?
I do not. And the only basis like people could really defend that it was country is that it had some remix country in there, and the lyrics are very country, but lyrics are not what define, like, it's not what defines country music. To me, it's like,
what does?
Like awfulness, like the really simplistic lyrics written by like corporate dummies that have never been on like a ranch in their whole life kind of thing. And
yeah, I grew up in the country, so I grew up around country quite a bit. I grew up in a little farm town where we had like 20 people in my graduating class and shit. You know what I mean? So, we baled hay in the summer and, did cornfields and all kinds of shit. So, like, I get it. Is it normal, traditional country? Absolutely not.
Sure.
Would I, if somebody said this is a country song? Sure, I'm game. But I don't, I don't care.
I don't really consider like a lot of Johnny Cash stuff to be country either, though. And it's probably considered as such. So,
although I get harassed on stream all the time because I say Green Day and Blink-182 are punk, and people are like, "That's not punk rock." And
it was at the time.
It absolutely is. And they're like, "No, that's like pop punk," or like there's like all these subgenres. I'm like, dude, it's punk. Like it is. Whatever. It's punk to me. And I'm like, no, this is punk. And then they'll link me some stuff, and it's god awful. And I'm like, no, absolutely not.
Sure.
So I think everybody's got different classifications, but it's interesting. It was interesting read though. And then the last question that we had for the evening comes from Primetime CP23, and he said, should the buffs to Blessed Shield stay in place when the patch goes live, or should they be nerfed? I think it should go live as is. That's what he said. We talked about this a little bit.
Is that a question? Yeah. I mean,
yes,
I'm okay with it. Like, I'm actually okay with Veer and Blessed Shield going live, because I'm kind of over, I guess, balance at this point, because I feel like Blizzard did have no clue how to balance the game, so like I don't really care anymore. It's just kind of sad to say, but yeah, I mean, if you want to have a season where Chantoto's overperforming or Blessed Shield's overperforming, sure, let's go with it. Fine.
Yeah. We got a couple more questions, actually, that I missed from your Discord. I forgot to check it.
Wow.
So, toxic. So let's see. Trying to fish the questions out of here. Killer Plague says, should game developers publish exploiters? Should content creators be held to a higher standard when sharing exploits with the community? He said publish. I think he meant punish.
Oh.
So should game developers punish exploiters?
I mean, here's my stance on it. I just took down your camera. So
You just killed me.
I did. Go back up. Did. Oh, right here. This will be fine. Here we go. Now we're fine. Yeah. So, like, I think Blizzard had like a perfect example of this. So they had that issue where Mark for Death from the DH and the Necro Curse were like one-shotting shit. And they came out, like, people were playing with it because it's like, wow, I'm one-shotting, 140 mobs. And then Blizzard came out and said, we know this is a bug. Like, don't do it. And then people still did it. Then I think, yeah, absolutely, they should be punished.
So, and I agree. And here's my thing, though. They can't state that punishment on a forum or on a Twitter post. It has to be a notification that pops up in-game. So when you log, because then I could clearly see somebody being like, well, I was doing it and I didn't see that post.
I'm not on Reddit. I don't know. Right.
Yeah, I don't check Reddit. I don't check Twitter. Okay, cool. But if it's a post that pops up in game and you have to click OK to to play the game, then if you do it, you're that's your own risk.
I agree.
I agree 100%.
Sure.
So
yeah.
And should content creators get in trouble for sharing an exploit? I don't think so personally. I mean, it's if they're encouraging people to use it, I think that's pretty shitty of them. But if Blizzard never officially says don't do this, then
I think there's
it's a gray. It depends on the severity of the exploit too.
I think that there's like some good cases out there. So like, we'll just bring it up, like Chainer botting, and like he very clearly botted. Kind of, he didn't necessarily like promote botting, but like he was going for rank 1, and the only way he could really get it was to apparently bot, and he wasn't like super subversive about it. He wasn't open about it. He never was like, I bot, but like, he'd like smile if people said shit and stuff like that. And I think that is kind of promoting botting. And so I still kind of think that he should have been banned from the platform because you can't cheat and play games. So he like really lucked out. Granted, he doesn't really even stream anymore, but then you look at like another situation where like Shroud was playing PUBG. And then, like, he got into, like, a car, and somehow the car, like, flew away. And it was just, like, this weird fucking funny thing that happened. But, him doing that, I guess, was, like, promoting people, like, I don't know, hacking the game or something. And so he got, like, a short ban for that. And I think that's silly.
He got a ban on Twitch or a ban on PUBG?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I think that's silly, too.
Or, like, Quinn, another one. Quinn, sorry. But, like, Quinn, like, bought like currency or something like that off the site, and then it was like, look how easy this is, so stupid. Like, look how fucking, like, I just buy this, and then he like got it, and then he deleted it. And he's like, that's so fucking stupid. Like, that shit's dumb. Like, GGG fixed that shit. But then he got in trouble because of it.
In trouble. Yeah. Yeah, I agree if he didn't exploit it in that way. But the thing with Quinn is, even though he was saying this is stupid, fix it, he also showed people how to do it.
Sure.
And maybe that was their stance on it. I don't necessarily agree with it.
But I've heard like GGG like gets people in trouble just for bringing up a site. Like, so I searched Google, like, this is legit. I searched Google for like, what are the best maps to shape in PoE? And I know you don't know what that means, but like no one does. So that's why I Googled it. And so the article that popped up was from like a pay to win website. And I had no idea. And like chat was like, you can get banned for even like bringing that website up, even though it's just like an article on like where are the best maps to shape, which I'm just Googling, but just having that site up, like that's
just having it up on your stream because you're streaming, they would ban you.
Mm-hmm.
Hot damn.
Right. Well, make your game like a little bit more noob friendly, maybe. And I don't think
GGG can tell you can't pull a website up.
Right.
That's a Twitch thing. That has nothing to do with GGG.
No, I think it's GGG. Opinion. Yeah.
Oh, no. I'm saying
I
don't think GGG has authority to tell you what you can or can't show on your own stream, and or ban you for that. I don't know.
Right.
That's silly.
But GGG can be like, that's cheating, and then Twitch is like, no, you can't do that, kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know. But I'm with you. So it depends on the severity. So like, let's say that I found some kind of exploit in the game where I could get infinite Death Breath. Let's just say I found out a way, and I mean, we can farm hundreds of thousands of Death Breath in a day. And I was promoting that on stream, I think I'm eligible to get in trouble for that if I'm showcasing that.
Yeah.
If I'm like, hey man, there's a way that people are duping Death's Breath. It's pretty stupid.
Here's what it is.
Should I get in trouble for that? I don't think so. You know what I mean? So
yeah, and that situations like that have certainly popped up since we've been streamers, and I think for the most part we've actively avoided those. Like I don't even macro like, so yeah,
you know, it's crazy. But yeah, so that's an interesting question. I don't know. I never really thought about.
Yeah,
I never really went down
question.
That rabbit hole before.
Right.
Yeah. Maester Magus says, what are 3 non-set legendary items you would like to see get some love? It's pretty detailed. Off the top of my head, let me think if I can think of a couple, though. Legendary items that I would like to get love.
Staff of Cleopatra? Is that the... No. That's the Firebird. Or the Firebats. What's the one... that does the acid cloud?
I would like to see the Hydra wand get some love because I love playing Hydra, and I think that would be really cool to have some Hydra action again. Trying to think of other items that are cool, man.
I mean, I just want like good phylacteries. Like I know that we're a fairly new class as a Necro, so we don't have a lot of like just worthless legendaries out there. So, but like some phylacteries.
Can I like something. Get some love by removing rolls off of Demon Hunter quivers and Crusader shields?
Yeah.
The amount of things that you can roll on a quiver or shield are ridiculous. Like, please.
I agree with that
90% of that shit.
Chat just said Darklight. Yes. 100,000 times percent. Yes. Darklight's the Fist of Heaven one-hander flail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Give that a damage fighter. Yeah. I agree.
That's an interesting question that I think we could address at some point, but that's too hard to think of off the top of my head. I'd actually have to do a little research, but I like that though. So
let me ask you something. This is completely off topic, and it's kind of like it's my Twitter question to you. So this has been popping. This has been blowing up all over Twitter recently. Like more and more porn stars.
What you're gonna say?
Are streaming. Like on Twitch.
What?
Yeah. What do you think about that?
This is something that I've kind of thought was going to become a thing at some point in the future. I feel like celebrities, and I'm not calling porn stars celebrities, although I guess they kind of are. But I think celebrities, especially B-list celebrities, are going to enter the space of YouTube and Twitch because I think that they can make a lot of money doing it.
Yeah.
And I've already seen it happen with a couple where they started streaming and it was like instantly partnered in like the first day.
Sure.
And like, you know, I saw it was a musician. I saw a famous musician streaming. He probably made 10 grand in one stream, you know, just on his very first stream ever.
Sure.
It felt like, and I'm just like, good God, you know what I mean? Like, so why wouldn't these people turn the streams on?
Sure.
If they're just going to get free, like, hey, I want to go to fucking London next weekend. Let's stream for an hour.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's kind of the way I felt, but I don't know, man. Like the greedy side of me is kind of like get out of my space, and then the other side of me is like, you know, whatever. It's a free platform. If they want to do it, let them do it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'd like to keep an open mind about it, but at the same time, like, it's kind of feels bad to me because I feel like with this demographic in particular, like adult entertainment people streaming on the platform, like,
I don't want my kids to watch that.
Yeah,
shit.
not
so
just
that's the thing.
That, but they like there's so many gamers out there that they can just really just take advantage of, and I don't know, it just feels bad. It just feels so bad.
That's kind of a gray area in streaming in general, though, and I think that there are female streamers that exploit sexuality for views and for money, and then there are female streamers that are totally legit gamers that get harassed non-fucking stop because they have boobs, and it's like, you know, so there's two sides of it, and I think if Twitch I think Twitch personally should enforce more of the, like, listen, if you want to be a booby streamer, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? And keep this platform because I think ultimately what that does is it creates a culture of viewers that want to tell all the female streamers, show me your tits.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
And I think if Twitch would enforce their policies a little bit tighter, I think that the normal female streamers would have an easier life. I don't think it would be as expected, you know, or as tolerated.
Yeah.
But
I almost feel like
my concern comes from a parent. Like, I don't want my son to log on to Twitch and I have to worry about him, you know, sitting there watching some girl smash her boobs together while doing Dance Dance Revolution.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I want him to like, oh, he's watching a Fortnite stream.
Right.
No.
Right. And it's not even like, so say that even these like adult entertainment stars like carry themselves really well while they're on the platform. Like Twitch's chat is going like nuts, and like your kid would just see the chat,
Yeah, exactly.
saying that's the raunchiest shit. I almost feel like it should be like like the partner system should be a lot more strict. It should be like, you know, you get a background check for a job. Let's start doing some background checks and maybe interviews for a partner. Like, you know. I'm not knocking choosing the career route of an adult entertainment star, but like, you know, you probably wouldn't get a job based on that being in your background, and I don't think that necessarily Twitch platform should be any different. But
yeah, I mean, and there are spaces for that too.
Yeah,
it's like, so here's the thing though. Like, here's the thing. I don't know any names of a porn star, but let's just say Jenna Jameson is the only one I can think of. Okay, so. We're going to talk about Jenna.
Sure.
Sorry, Jenna. So Jenna she's doing her movie thing on the side, or, you know, that's her main gig.
Yeah.
But let's say she really loves Diablo.
Okay.
And she wants to stream her playing Diablo legit. It's fucking cool. Okay, that's cool. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
If you come stream and your stream is about the game and it's not like, oh my God, I just got done filming a movie and I'm so like... I'm so parched and like, you know, whatever the fuck she's going to talk about, then I'm cool with it. I mean, I guess like, why should I say, no, you can't do this because you've made these other life choices? I made bad life choices. I'm not saying that choice is bad if that's your thing. I'm just saying I've made choices in life I'm not proud of. And for those to affect what I'm able to do now, I don't think is a fair assessment. But at the same time, man, I think it would be very hard for that person to keep it clean.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
And
not even that person,
it just
but that
feels
person's chat.
So inherently predatory. I mean, even if they're saying like I'm coming here to play Diablo, I just want to play Diablo. I mean, you know you're gonna perform better as a streamer because of your main gig. It's still, to me, it's like inherently like, I know I'm gonna get more people either to give me money for my main gig, like all these nerds playing video games. Like, I don't know, man. Like, let's be honest.
But I feel that as a Twitch streamer at times too. Like, I feel that there are people that have come into my chat before that are in a bad place in their life and they need a friend.
Sure.
And they think that donating or subbing or all these things. And I've actually messaged people and I've said, hey, listen, man, you're welcome in my stream anytime. You don't have to give me bits or gift subs. To hang out. Like, you're cool. Just be you, come hang out, and we're good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think that there are people out there that are like, they kind of like buying a friend, I think. It's kind of how I felt. And I wanted to make sure that they knew, like, hey, man, you don't got to, you know, I'm not being nice to you because, you know, you just gave me $5. I'm like, you're welcome to just come hang out, man.
Sure.
Like, that's not needed, you know? And so, like, I appreciate it. Don't get me wrong, but it's not, you know, you don't have to do that.
Sure.
And I think that I think there are people that do that now. Like, you know what I mean? I think that there are booby streamers that take advantage of people like that now. Already.
For sure. Yeah.
For sure. So, but what do you do? Like, Twitch is a business too, man. So, you know, those ASMR streamers that play, you know, Let's Dance or whatever the fuck the Wii game is. Like, dude, have you seen any? Have you actually watched any of those streams?
No.
Like, I did. I watched. I'm not going to name drop, but there's the one of the big ones, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on in this place?" Because, you know, you see the thumbnail, and it's like, I don't even know how you're not banned from that. But I go in the stream, and it's like, boobs mashed up, ass cheeks hanging out the shorts, and she's playing a dance game where she's jumping and, you know, it's like making parts jiggle on purpose.
Sure.
With very little chat interaction for a lot of it, you
Right.
know, and it's just like, okay, like I guess this is, but
I get what you're saying. Like Twitch
she's
as a
slaying it.
right,
Twitch
as
is
a
making money
platform,
off her.
and
Twitch is making a lot of money off her.
And if say
Yeah.
tomorrow Twitch is like, you know what, we're done with that, man. Like gamers would be like, well, yeah, cool, but like then there'd probably be another platform that would spawn up and like not have any kind of restrictions, and you know maybe take a lot of business from Twitch. So it's such a weird topic.
Chat's like, who is this chick? The chat's all
no,
searching.
no.
Searching. So, yeah, and the other thing is there are websites for that. Like there are
Sure.
websites where you could go do that, but those are going to get, they're not as PG. And maybe this person doesn't want to go full fledged, and so it's like,
Well, yeah,
is this
if
the
you could
platform?
not, you
Like,
would prefer not to,
I
right?
don't know, man. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
I don't know either.
It's a hard thing for me to say, like, you can't make your living doing
Sure.
this when, you know, it's just because you know,
Right. Just
I don't
because
know.
we think that Twitch should be for games doesn't mean we're right. So
Yeah, exactly. So part of me is like, make your money, man. If people are gonna pay you to squish your boobs together, I guess do it. But then part of me is like, don't do it on Twitch.
yeah.
So
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
So anyway, sorry, super derail.
Yeah.
Kodo says, how does it make you feel that every time someone comes with a great idea for the game, we always have to think about how to make it effortless or non-dev time when games like PoE get free stuff 24/7? So I think he's trying to say, like,
Yeah. We talk about quick
PoE
wins every week. When should we
Yeah.
have to? Like
yeah, we should
Right.
we be able to like put in some real content.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we get you. We hear you.
Yeah.
We hear you.
Um,
We're listening.
We'll get back to you in a year.
You're right.
So, and
yeah.
then Perkmeister says, what are your guys' other hobbies besides video games? As a content creator, you don't have much time for other hobbies,
Sure.
to be honest. But I'm a sports guy personally, so I really love basketball. I'm a huge basketball fan. And I'm into cars a little bit. Like, I have a nice car, and I used to race my car. I don't much anymore, but I used to be into that quite a bit as well.
Right.
So,
Yeah. I mean, I'm into motorcycles. I like to take my motorcycle and travel across other countries. Travel is kind of like my big thing. Honestly, if I could like, if say I won the lottery tomorrow, like, would I become a full-time Twitch streamer or would I travel the world? I would probably travel the world and maybe try to combine the two. But yeah, like traveling is my deep passion. It's just so goddamn expensive.
yeah, it's crazy. I like to travel too, but I haven't as much as you. Like, I like to travel, but I don't like to full-fledged, like, I can't eat weird shit. I can't. Like, that's,
do you mean?
I can't do it. I can't.
So
Like,
you wouldn't eat like a tarantula if it was...
no, where were we at Blizz? You got some shit at BlizzCon that I was like, what the fuck is that? I can't even remember what it was now.
Yeah.
But you definitely, you know, I have a very narrow
Sure.
mind when it comes to my food consumption, and it's
Yeah.
like, I need hamburgers, French fries, and pizza. Like, those are my
Right.
my staples.
Sure.
So if I went to Fear Factor, you ever watch Fear Factor?
Oh, yeah, I've seen it.
I could totally do anything on Fear Factor except for the eating section. Like,
Really?
when they have to eat the nasty shit, I don't know if I could do it. I might be like, I'm out. I'm done.
Sure.
Like,
Sure.
they had to eat cow testicles one time, dude. Like,
I've seen worse.
no, man.
Yeah.
No,
No.
absolutely not.
I mean, money on the line.
Absolutely
Yeah, I'll eat whatever you want, dude. Let's go.
Oh my god. No. That's it, man. That is now officially all
Yes.
the questions.
Yes.
So, sorry, Fluff's Discord. I forgot you today.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if you guys want to ask questions, we grab the questions from 3 different spots. We get them from my Twitter, Fluff's, I guess 4 spots. My Twitter, Fluff's Twitter, and my Discord, and Fluff's Discord. So you can tweet them at me, at ThaPChild on Twitter, at Lord__Fluffy on Twitter, or links for our Discords will, you can type
in
the
chat.
command, _ Discord. Yep,
Exclamation
I think the mods will
point.
probably
The
get that for us.
PTR.
And then in the YouTube comments, I think Fluff links them in there as
Yep.
also. So
They're there.
cool. That's it today, guys. Another 2-hour episode. Feels
damn
good. So you guys should give us some feedback on YouTube or just tell us in our Twitch streams if you like the 2 hours or should we try to trim these down to like
Right.
an hour 30, or if it
Sure.
doesn't bother you guys, we won't worry about it.
Right.
But yeah, that's it. So you can catch me everywhere: Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, at ThaPChild.
Yeah. I'm Lord_Fluffy everywhere, but the Twitter's where it's double those underscores. And we'll see you guys next week. Baby. See ya.